Well, I am officially addicted to this bird watching thing. Welcome back to On the Wing, the series where we find and identify as many bird species as possible in South Africa in one calendar year. In episode 1, we kicked off the big year close to home at the Botanical Garden, where I spent more time finding my feet than birds.
Yeah, I don't know what I've gotten myself into.
And Marievale Bird Sanctuary, which apparently I pronounced incorrectly a dozen times. But I got a taste of what much of the year will look like, and it tasted sweet. With a few common species added from my balcony at home, our running total is now 76 species. Just a few hundred behind the early leaders. But comparison is the thief of joy, and this is about the adventures it takes us on.
Speaking of which, I've just arrived at the beautiful Pilanesberg National Park in the Northwest Province. It's about a 2 hours drive from home. Camp is set up here at Manyani for the next 2 nights. I've got this afternoon, the full day tomorrow, and the next morning to search for our feathered friends. And maybe some larger things in between. Otherwise, it seems very quiet here at the moment. It's very peaceful, a little bit overgrown, but we aren't here for a camp review. I've just spotted our first bird.
Pilanesberg National Park, otherwise known as the Gem. These rings of hills are a remnant of a massive ancient extinct volcano. By ancient, I mean over 1 billion years old. But what makes the birding at the Gem so good? Open grasslands, rocky outcrops, acacia woodlands, thickets, gorges, wetlands, and a number of dams built back in the farming days. It's also in a transition zone between the wetter eastern parts of the country and the dry Kalahari to the west. So I should be getting a good mixture of species. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and rather take things one bird at a time. Of course, ambling along through the Pilanesberg in search of the smaller things may lead you to some of the larger ones. This large bull did not want to leave the road, and learning from a previous incident here, changing my route felt like a rather sound decision. At this point, I began realizing the peaceful power behind a slower pace. Mankwe Dam is very full as expected, but not so much bird life around there. I only explored the one side of the dam. We'll check it out a bit more tomorrow, but just heading up Tower Link, and I have a plan of going all the way around Ditabaneng Drive, going past a nice bird hide there which sits on a dam. It's just hit 35 degrees.
Surely things can only get cooler from here.
Speaking of heat, as I approached the top end of this road, I seemed to enter a real hotspot. This rattling testicular was quite unhappy about something. An alarm call which can often give away the presence of a nearby threat. This can be anything from a leopard or an eagle to a mongoose or a snake. In this case, I had no idea. I also had no idea what this was. So I filmed and waited for a call. When it comes to these little brown jobs, I tend to focus less on the appearance and more on the habits and sounds to point me in the right direction. Luckily, this desert testicular shot off in a display flight, where you will also get a glimpse into what most of my footage really looks like. This little beauty is a male shaft-tailed wider. Probably my favorite of the widers and another brood parasite, meaning it tricks other birds into raising their young. He also seems like quite a pushy little bird. En route to Malatsi Dam, I noticed the area becoming very marshy. Most of the country has had plenty of rain recently, which hopefully bodes well for the big year.
No new actual species, but I mean, just to sit there and listen to the sounds and take in the tranquility of it was really amazing. With that being said, let's get to that bird hide. The light is just about to get really nice now, and hopefully we bring some of this life to the water there. Such a nice hide, it's just not much going on here at the moment, so we'll carry on. Looks like I'm sleeping with the impalas tonight. One of the best times of the day, I think. The amount of campfires, or braais, should I say, we will be having this year, I think is also going to break a few personal records. But we don't need to list everything. Over the last couple of years, especially with the channel and making these videos, it's been very much like a feeling of you have to kind of try to be everywhere at once so that you don't miss anything, and it's, you know, the whole typical FOMO thing, and this is very much the opposite. It really does slow you down. You kind of just have everything around you. There's potential birds wherever you look, and even though we didn't actually see much in terms of mammals, I still feel really satisfied with the drive. I can't believe I haven't done this sooner. Gonna have a cold one, and who knows, maybe an owl or two joins us, or a bush baby or something. Let's see. Morning team. I forgot to bring the pot to boil water in, which is quite devastating because if you know me, I really enjoy my first coffee of the morning. But we are going to try something. I'm going to try boil water in this metal mug, see how that goes. I can hear some pearl-spotted owlets just over here by this light near the fence. I wonder if they use that to help them hunt a little bit at night. Let's have a look here. That's a fork-tailed drongo, sounding like a pearl-spotted owlet. Masters of mimicry. What a way to start the day, being fooled by a bird. I was thinking last night while I was lying in the tent, I want 3 things to happen today. I have like a little bit of a wish list in terms of birds. Number 1 being an osprey, because I remember always seeing an osprey on a specific road close to Mankwe Dam. I think we'll start there. Violet-eared waxbill, which is a very pretty little seed eater. And the third one is an accipiter. For example, any of the goshawks or a sparrowhawk. Let's finish up this coffee and get going. It's almost gate opening time. Okay, that's good enough for me. Safety first, after burning myself the first time.
No amount of lukewarm coffee was going to spoil the morning I was about to have. And that, my friends, is species number 100 of the big year. Red-billed oxpecker. Little bit of a milestone. Don't be fooled, it's only going to get harder from here. Put it into perspective. Last year's overall winner, which is like just not going to happen with me, but they got, I think, around 650 in total. In terms of like an overall goal for the year, I don't really have one. Not really about the numbers, but let's maybe make 500 a big milestone. Thank you. Celebrate the century, and we carry on, one bird at a time. These drongos are not only smart with their calls, but also with their hunting. They save so much time and energy by grabbing insects disturbed by a variety of animals. I filmed a little brown job singing. They say you should start with, and this is something I learned like right in the beginning of guiding, is the first thing you look at is general indication of size and shape, otherwise known as jizz. Let's have a look at the larks. I'm using Firefinch, which is an app I just enjoy. It's not melodious, I know that call. Not monotonous, I know that call. It's like a bunch of different birds in one. That sounds just like it. I think it's a Sabota lark. That's it. This is probably a good time to mention that at no point will I be using playback to call birds in, only to help with identification. I made it to Dasikopi, which is where I was hoping to find the osprey. I remember always seeing it perched on top of that dead tree up there, but not this time. However, this route has provided plenty of new species, including a lifer in the form of rock-loving cisticolas. As rodent numbers climb towards the end of the rainy season, it's time for the black-winged kite to breed. I assume this is a male, as apparently they generally do the ferrying of nest material. Onwards to Makawane Dam.
I think it's time to head up there.
With bird activity now noticeably slowing down and a brief unprovoked charge from a rhino, I took it as a sign to take a break. Operation Higher Ground will have to wait. Searching for birds is more tiring than I thought, but my tent nap, otherwise known as a slow cook, was interrupted by a welcome and familiar sound coming from a large tree. Lesser honey guides call for hours on end and for generations from a traditional songpost. But this wasn't the only lifer perched up high in the branches, with a young greater honey guide quietly watching on. Calling, then flying ahead, honey guides are well known for guiding people to beehives. People would break open the hive for honey, and the birds will eat the bee larvae. A relationship which hardly exists in the modern world.
Slept off the rhinoceros nerves. I'm thinking maybe a change in altitude and some more rocky landscape could lead to some different bird species.
Let's pick up where we left off.
It is eerily quiet up here. The only bird sounds I can hear are coming from like down in the valley below, and even that's very faint, but strangely peaceful. There's something about the wind just kind of trickling through the leaves that's really, really tranquil.
Operation Higher Ground was a success, bringing sightings of a black-chested snake eagle as well as a common buzzard on the way to Lenong Viewpoint. It also brought some perspective to this wider big year journey, reminding me that it will take us to some breathtaking locations throughout the year. It is insane to me that this was a volcano over 1 billion years ago, and now it's just filled with an abundance of life. I guess technically speaking, seeing that birds evolved from a specific group of dinosaurs, we've been searching for modern-day dinosaurs within an extinct volcano. How cool is that? Monkwe birdhide. Sitting on the largest and most famous body of water right in the center of the park, it always delivered wow moments from crocodiles and hippos to a variety of bird life. Unfortunately, no one's been able to enjoy it for some time now due to safety concerns. Not from the wildlife, but the structure itself has become wonky. I have no idea when or even if it will be repaired. But on a lighter note, the new species kept rolling in. Lingering slightly on the prehistoric theme, I spent quite some time filming one of the heaviest flying birds on the planet. Weighing in at around 19 kilograms, this Kori bustard has presence.
Good morning, team. Clouds are hanging very low this morning.
The goal for the final morning was to explore areas we had not yet gotten to due to the newly found slower pace. A variety of calls fill the valley, including this white-winged widowbird's strange radio-static song. A Swainson's profile advertises itself from a bare patch of rocks, but seemed to be struggling to find its full voice. There are some pretty fresh lion tracks on this road that I'm on. A few game viewers up ahead, I think the lions must be right here. However, this was the best view I could get. Speaking of distant views, last time out I asked for your thoughts on this harrier we saw at Marievale, and you delivered. The general consensus was that the barring on its tail points only to an African marsh harrier and not the western. Thanks again for getting involved and helping me learn a few things. I've really been blown away by the helpful nature of the birding community. Now, onwards towards a road which was bursting with bird life yesterday morning. And once again, it did not disappoint. Just stumbled upon such a nice little bird party. It included 3 new ones for the list, including the violet-eared waxbill, which is one of the birds that was on my wish list yesterday morning. This road that I'm on, Clary and Motlobo, very, very good for the little pretty birds. If you are coming to Pilanesberg for a bit of birding, I highly recommend you spend a lot of time on this road and just take it very easy. Stop and wait, listen, and you'll be rewarded handsomely. Despite only exploring about 60% of the park, it genuinely has delivered, launching our big year tally well into triple digits. Like I said, this challenge will only become more difficult as the numbers climb, but I also get the feeling that it will become more enjoyable. Well, I am officially addicted to this bird watching thing. I've had such a great time here in Pilanesberg that I've actually seriously contemplated staying an extra night. I believe we added 50-something new species. I'll confirm a few when I get home. And that should bring our total for the On the Wing birding big year to 120-something. I believe only 10% of this channel's viewers are actually subscribed. So if you are enjoying these videos and you want to keep seeing them, please remember to hit the subscribe button. It really does go a long way to growing the channel. We'll see you next time. We're going to the beach.